When Katrina hit in 2005, it didn't faze me one bit because New Orleans is known for hurricanes. Hurricanes. We're talking about hurricanes with some trees blowing, the wind damage, rain, not flood, rain. Hear me. This was a Saturday. They was predicting Katrina to hit Sunday night. So people was evacuating. I wasn't never one of those persons to evacuate. Never evacuated from a storm. That didn't even cross my mind to evacuate. What did cross my mind was I was going on vacation. Saturday night would have been my last night working. I was going on a cruise, a carnival cruise. I woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I looked out through my blinds, and I could see the wind and the rain, what I know, wind and rain. I go back to sleep. The next morning, my mattress is soaking wet. So I wake up and I said, oh my God. And I look and I'm walking in water up to my knees. And I said, well, what I got to do is I got to pack. So what I did was I cooked. I fried me some chicken wings. I made me some macaroni and cheese. I emptied the refrigerator, the juices, the water, stuff I need. I had a 2-inch television. I had a radio. I had a flashlight. And you got to remember, I took my packed suitcase. Why it was packed? Because I was going on a cruise. So I was okay. I was okay mentally. You know, I wasn't freaking out. By the time I got out the house, the water was up to my breast line. It was up to there. And I'm carrying stuff. So I wasn't safe on the second landing of the hallway to the apartment. I had to go up to the third floor landing. So I did. I went up to the third floor landing. Again, you got to hear, I had everything I needed for a temporary stay. And that's what was in my mind. I'm in this hallway. First night, I'm still okay. Second night, I'm still okay. 3 days, I began to panic. The water was still rising. I'm on the 3rd floor. In my apartment building like this, I was the only one. Everybody else was gone. Now, you gotta remember, National Guard didn't come until 5 days of the storm. So I'm talking about the 4th day of the storm. You would see people in boats. You would see people passing in boats. And so I hollered out to a guy that was in the boat, and he came over there. I said, hey, I need to get out of here. I need to go downtown to where I work at. If you can get me downtown. He says, neighbor, I can't get you downtown, but what I can do is I can bring you some water, some stuff that you may need. And I cried. And I said, oh, that's not gonna do it. I need to get out of here. He said, but how you gonna get out? He said, look, let me go see if I can get some more help, and I'm gonna come back for you. He came back 5 o'clock that evening. He threw me a rope, I tied it to the banister, and I clammed out on this rope onto the boat. And when I got in this boat, I just hugged this guy. Never seen him in my life. Oh, I was so glad to see him and feel somebody and stuff. We're talking about 4 days later. And this guy named was Harold King, come to find out. Well, Harold, he would drop me back off to he drop me back off because he had to go back to his family. So I'm thinking, so he said, things are going to be better tomorrow when the National Guard come in. So anyway, I said, please come get me. And he had kept his word. He came, got me. So I goes back in my hallway. I have another night. This is the 5th day. And then what he used to do is he'll come get me on the boat, and he used to bring me to a fire station where they had lower water and they had a backup generator. So if I wanted to charge my phone, I could. Harold was like my protector because when I wrote, because I journaled this, and when I wrote down, I said he was like an angel sent. He was an angel sent. I think about that sometimes. We're now into about 6 or 7 days into my my survival, my whatever you want to call it. And I'm sitting there, and here come Harold. Neighbor. Yeah, Harold, what's going on? We going up. Y'all going? He said, my family getting sick. He said, and the National Guard is coming around. You're going to be evacuated too, because it's mandatory. I said, well, they ain't making me leave. They can't make me leave my premises. This is my premises. They're not making me leave. He says, neighbor, I'm telling you, you're going to get sick. How you going to make it? Blah, blah, blah. I said, I'm sorry. It was nice knowing you. Take care of your family. See you. Bye. And he did. He left. Well, the next morning, I freaked out because it wasn't no more Harold. It wasn't no more boat. It wasn't no more going to the National Guard. It was like, oh my God. I totally freaked out. I freaked out. So I'm sitting there and I'm freaking out and I'm crying. I'm going like, oh my God, this is crazy. This is crazy. I can't stay here. I gotta go. So I made a flagpole. I took a broomstick and I took a pillowcase and I wrapped it around and I just began to wave it out my little attic window. And there come the National Guard. And I went up. So the next morning they said I was going to be in a group to go off to Houston again. I was excited. Everybody was in Houston, Texas. My friends, my family, my daughter. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait. I can't wait to get to Houston. So I'm in the international airport and the pilot announced I've got good news and I got bad news. He says, the bad news is we're not able to go into the state of Texas anymore. It's overcapacitated. We cannot bring any more survivors to Texas. But the good news is we're going to Washington, D.C. I cried. Washington, D.C.? That ruins my whole plans. I'm seeing my family, being with my friends. Washington, D.C.? I didn't want to see the White House and I didn't want to meet the president. I cried. I just cried. I just couldn't imagine me being in Washington, D.C. But I did. And I can remember riding on the roads and the highway. All you can see is people of all nationality with signs. Welcome. We love you. We thought about you. You're in our prayers. And I began to smile just a little bit. You know, every time you would step outside the State Armory on the steps, somebody would come up to you and say, hey, what can we do? What do you need? Within 2 weeks of my 30 days, I was working. You know, I had landed a job. People were there to help you. I love being in Arlington. You know, the community really welcomed me because people ask me all the time, like, you don't ever want to go back home? And I say, no, not to live, to visit. I don't feel like home is home anymore. This is becoming home. It's like, I just fit right in. I'm just very, very comfortable in Arlington, Virginia. And I wake up sometimes and wonder about that. My name is Suzette Walker and I live in Arlington, Virginia.